What's going on, y'all? It's Athletes Coach again, coming at you with another video. So Kawhi Leonard is suing Nike for copywriting his logo, the claw, without his consent. Now, when I look at this, automatically pops in my head, this is an issue of copyright law and trademark rights. And with everything I know when it comes to copyright law and trademark rights, Kawhi Leonard has a very, very strong chance at winning this case. Now, when we look at copyrights, we already know copyrights are automatically protected. The protections of the work automatically happen at creation. So there is no need to actually register the logo. There's just beneficial rights if you were to do that. All right. So once Kawhi states that he came up with the design, he drew it. I think as long as they have it fixed, that's the main purpose. As long as that work is fixed on a medium that they can express at any time. So meaning he has some sort of like either graphic on the computer or, hard copy drawn out showing that he fixed it and he drew it, then it's on some sort of fixed medium like a paper computer and they could reproduce it at any time. Then Kawhi Leonard has a very strong chance. He is the copyright owner. He is the owner of that. And Nike went behind his back to do that. They're definitely going to lose that. And when you look at the trademark issue, now people may say in Nike's defense like the whole fair use, but where Nike kind of doesn't have a chance at that whole fair use tactic is because it's a dilution. And when you look at the Federal Trademark Dilution Act of 1995, and there's various amendments to it too, the main focus is this: does that work either blur or impair the distinctiveness of the original work? Bring some sort of tarnishment to it. And I would say if Nike were to use that logo in any other thing, it could be deceptive practice because people attribute that KL, that claw, with the initial KL for Kawhi Leonard, they attribute that to him. So when we look at the Dilution Act, there's a number of key features, that permits it as dilution. First, the degree of similarity between the subject matter and between the subject mark and the famous work. Secondly, the degree of inherent or acquired distinctiveness to the work. Third, the extent to which the owner of the famous mark is exclusively using the mark. And we all know that is his logo. He's going to use that even with his brand new Balance. So if Nike's going around using it, Nike already has that prominence or that equity in people's minds over New Balance, and New Balance is an up and coming, well, I wouldn't say up and coming, but they're trying to get up to Nike's level. They're not quite at Nike's level. In that case, if people were to see it on a New Balance, they will automatically assume that it is either a knockoff or doesn't hold the same sort of weight. So it dilutes the New Balance brand if Nike is still using that logo. And most people say, well, when was Kawhi ever with Nike? Remember, Jordan Brand is a subsidiary of Nike. So Jordan is tied to Nike, hence why Kawhi is there. And then for points 4, 5, and 6, we have the degree of the mark's recognition. We all know everybody recognizes that mark with Kawhi Leonard, and whether the use of the mark was intended to create an association with the famous mark. Obviously, why else would Nike still want to hold on and use that claw? That they just want to associate with Kawhi Leonard. And then the final fact is an actual association between the mark and the famous mark. So we already know once we see the claw, that is an association with Kawhi Leonard. The same thing once we see the Jumpman, that is an association with Michael Jordan. So just looking at typical copyright laws and trademark rights, definitely Kawhi Leonard has a strong chance, and I believe he's going to win this. I mean, we could look at various cases throughout time in history that this is definitely going to go in, Kawhi's favor. I mean, there's stories, there's cases in which the NFL, teams in the NFL have actually sued other people for using their logos or using their trademarks, and they've actually won. I mean, the NCAA actually has trademark, March Madness, and then if anybody was trying to play on that with like April Madness or some sort of thing like that, the NCAA has won in those cases. So definitely Kawhi definitely is going to make out like a bandit. He's going to win this case. Nothing to really worry about. This isn't that big of a deal in terms of, Kawhi's camp. I don't think they have anything to worry about. They're for sure going to win this. I mean, they could also just reference the New York Yankee partnership versus IET products. That case that took place back in 2015. And that was just an issue of fair use. And the New York Yankees clearly won that case. So that was just all over the issue of using the name, the house that Ruth built. IET products tried to say the house that Juice built. They tried to play on that. And that was clearly a dilution of the trademark that the Yankees owned. So that's just a clear reference that Kawhi's camp can definitely reference to, and they'll definitely win this case in federal court. And Nike's just shit out of luck. So I want to hear what y'all have to say on this issue. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. I'm out.